Canada and India are enmeshed in an unprecedented diplomatic row. Here's how it happened. An explosive allegation from Canada that the Indian government may have been behind the assassination of a Sikh separatist activist on Canadian soil has triggered a huge diplomatic row and sent relations between the two plummeting. It all started on Monday, when Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau claimed he has credible information linking India to the killing of prominent Sikh leader Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Canada's allegation outraged India, which has vehemently denied the claim, calling it absurd and motivated. Both Canada and India acted swiftly to expel senior diplomats in reciprocal moves earlier this week. And on Thursday, India's foreign ministry responded by temporarily suspending visa services for Canadian citizens over what it said are security threats against diplomats in Canada. Trudeau on Thursday called on India to work with Canada and allow justice to follow its course. Experts say the falling out raises the prospect of an unprecedented rift between two key partners of the United States, and puts other major Western countries in an uncomfortable position. Trudeau claimed in Parliament on Monday that Canadian authorities had been investigating credible allegations of a potential link between agents of the Government of India and the killing of Nijjar, a Sikh Canadian citizen who was gunned down by masked men in June. Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly subsequently said that Ottawa had expelled an Indian diplomat, whom she described as the head of the Indian intelligence agency in the country, as a consequence. India responded hours later by rejecting Trudeau's allegations, accusing Canada of harboring terrorists and claiming its inaction against extremists had been a long-standing concern. It also expelled a senior Canadian diplomat from the country. Nijjar's death in June shocked the Sikh community in Canada, one of the largest outside India with more than 770,000 members. Following Trudeau's comments, two Sikh community groups in Canada, the British Columbia Gurdwaras Council and Ontario Gurdwaras Committee, urged the Canadian government to immediately suspend all intelligence, investigative and prosecutorial cooperation with India. Canada's comprehensive response must reflect the gravity of India's role in the premeditated murder of a Sikh dissident living in Canada, the groups added in a joint statement. On Tuesday, Trudeau doubled down on the allegations. He said Canada wasn't trying to provoke India or escalate the situation, but was simply laying out the facts, adding that his government will follow the evidence and make sure that the work is done to hold people to account. Nijjar was an outspoken supporter of the creation of a separate Sikh homeland known as Khalistan, which would include parts of India's Punjab state. The Khalistan movement is outlawed in India and considered a national security threat by the government. A number of groups associated with the movement are listed as terrorist organizations under India's Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, UAPA. Nijjar's name appears on the Home Ministry's list of UAPA terrorists, and in 2020, the Indian National Investigation Agency accused him of trying to radicalize the Sikh community across the world in favor of the creation of Khalistan, adding that he had been trying to incite Sikhs to vote for secession, agitate against the Government of India and carry out violent activities. Nijjar's friend and former lawyer, who also appears on India's UAPA wanted list, said Nijjar was warned at least 3 times by Canadian authorities including the Royal Canadian Mounted Police about threats to his life. Gurpatwant Singh Pannu told CNN that Nijjar was asked to be careful and avoid giving big talks or he would be targeted. CNN has reached out to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Pannu, who faces multiple charges from the Indian government, runs a New York-based outfit called Sikhs for Justice, which has held referendums for a separate Khalistan state. The organization is considered unlawful in India, where its website is not accessible. Canadian police have not arrested anyone in connection with Nijjar's murder. But in an August update, police said they were investigating 3 suspects and issued a description of a possible getaway vehicle. Relations between the two countries have been tepid for several years, and Canada's allegations against the Indian government has further soured things. Harsh Pant, Vice President of Foreign Policy at the New Delhi-based think tank Observer Research Foundation, called the situation quite extraordinary.